Thank you for staying with us for the news. Let's get into our first story now. Well, Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard NPP, says the Vice President has been accepted by the region as the formidable candidate to win the 2024 general election for the NPP. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been campaigning across all 47 constituencies in the Ashanti region ahead of the NPP's presidential primary. He wrapped up his campaign in the region on Wednesday after meeting delegates who will be participating in the August 26th Special Delegates Conference of the party. Nanabwachi Adam now reports from Kumasi.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has been in the Ashanti region for the past 2 weeks to campaign ahead of the NPP's presidential primary, flanked by several high-profile figures of the party, including members of Parliament, regional and constituency chairmen and constituency council of elders. The Vice President toured all 47 constituencies in the region and wrapped up in the Old Tafo constituency. Ashanti Regional Chairman of the NPP, Bernard NPP, says the region has decided to elect Dr. Bawumia as flag bearer of the party, considering his performance as Vice President. He believes the Buzia Dankwa Dombo tradition must be upheld by ensuring Dr. Bawumia leads the party.
As we have witnessed and we have heard, it means that the people speak. And when the people are Ashanti, when they decide, you can't change it. The point is now that Ashanti has decided. It's about your works, the job, the things that you do will follow you. People are saying Dankwa Buzia Dombo, and people are saying Dankwa and Buzia has been served. So it's time for Dombo.
Member of Parliament for Efijasi and campaign coordinator for Dr. Bawumia in the Ashanti region, Nana Ayuwe says the Vice President is in a commanding lead in the region.
So far, so very good. Your Excellency, definitely in Ashanti region, is in a commanding lead by God's grace. He is. The people of Ashanti love him, and in the history of this country, as far as NPP is concerned, wherever Ashanti votes in presidential primaries, they vote en bloc. The superdelegates, his worst performance will be 85%. Last year I said 80%. 1 month to the election, I'm saying 85%. I know what I'm talking about. And if you see him trusting and cruising in the 90% as superdelegate for Ashanti, take it from me, it would reflect also in November 4th, God willing.
Spokesperson for Dr. Bawumia, Nana Akomia, says the support the Vice President has received from the Ashanti region is indication of victory ahead of the presidential primary.
From the enthusiasm that you've seen in Ashanti region, there's no doubt that the Vice President is clearly the front runner in this race.
For Joy News, Nana Bwachi Dankwayadom, Kumasi.
42-year-old John Dima left his sumptuous job at the National Health Insurance Authority and went into farming. He initially had some challenges raising capital and also getting machinery for his newfound job that he had a passion for. Now, after almost 14 years into farming, John Dima, who is the reigning overall Upper West Regional Best Farmer, tells of his success story to Joy News' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam, who visited his 1,000-acre farms at Jeffisi in the Sisala West district of the Upper West region.
John Dima, after acquiring a first degree in management studies at the Kumasi University College of Management Studies, UCOMS, that enabled him to acquire a white-collar job at the National Health Insurance Authority, NHIA, went into small-scale farming some 14 years ago.
I also think it's an opportunity to exploit nature, and the land is there. You don't need to pay for lands and those things.
He has passion for farming and saw his entry into the sector as a calling, thus explaining why he cut short his stint at the NHIA.
I was actually working with the National Health Insurance at Nedoli. I worked there for 2 years, and I just have to take adventure. So when I was resigning, I could remember the then manager called Jives Dakra. He encouraged me to remain, but I said, well, I have received a calling, and I just decided that I have to come and fulfill that calling.
He has no regrets for taking that decision. John Dema is now a commercial farmer and now Chief Executive Officer of the Gohobele Agric and Business Ventures and has employed dozens of people.
I have been able to employ a permanent staff of 16 permanent workers who are paid on monthly basis. We have casual workers that we handle over here. On a busy day like today that we are standing, we bring no less than 100 people. They work per day and they are all paid. So when I see that I've been able to solve someone's problem through agriculture, it's a lot of motivation to me.
He spoke of the initial challenges that he had, which nearly cowed him down.
When I went into agric, how to even prepare land was a very difficult issue. Getting tractors, machineries, you have to just do it by yourself. There is no government policy as at then that will be able to soften the situation for you to get equipments and other things. Now as we speak, you have a lot of marketing challenges. You have gone through all these things, you produce, how to market them, the market is not structured and all those things. They are all challenges.
One company that came in handy and he leaned on and which has propelled him to success was the Export Trading Group, ETG. John Ayonore Adoko is a sales agronomist.
We've been working with him for the past 5 years, and he has been using the Falcon fertilizer for his first application, and sometimes he counts for the Falcon urea and sulfate for his top dressing. And as you can see, the evidence are clear on his field. You can see the progress of the field, and then you can say that Falcon fertilizer and ETG Agri Input is a trusted brand.
In Webado Akwe Kenneth, who serves as the Force Operations Manager and agronomist, he has a reliable partner. He can go home sleeping with both eyes closed.
We are doing in all 1,000 acres here. We have 300 acres being soybeans and then 700 being maize. But we also run what we call an agro scheme, where we outsource the inputs to farmers who have their own lands and cannot afford the inputs. So we are able to support them with input like certified seed, fertilizer, and then plant protection products to be able to farm on their own fields, and then they repay the cost back in grains.
Let's head to Parliament now, where the first Deputy Speaker, Joseph Osei-Wusu, says the 8th Parliament is becoming the worst Parliament in Ghana's history as the minority forces another adjournment. Now, the minority declared early this week that they were escalating their protests against the prosecution of James Gyakye. The new strategy is to continuously raise matters of quorum, literally shutting the House down every time. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante now reports.
Whilst Parliament was considering bills, including the Ghana UNESCO bill, it became evident that the House lacked quorum to continue voting. The minority raised the matter, forcing an early adjournment. Speaking to Joy News, the Deputy Speaker explained that he thought the 8th Parliament, with its equal numbers, would be better, but is turning out to be the worst.
We have decided to do politics rather than business. I'm saying it. This equal number of Parliament had brought the worst in MPs. I've repeated it, I will repeat again. This Parliament, 8th Parliament, has made the least number of laws. We have not cooperated as we did in the past.
The Deputy Speaker also says the leadership on both sides have lost control of the House to the backbenchers.
Today, young people are in control. They look at things differently from the rest of us. So it is good for them, even when their leaders agree to do it. Check out, it's always people from the backbench who come to raise these issues, not the leaders. What it means is that indeed, at this time, in the Parliament of Ghana, leaders don't have control. The backbench have control. So the number of backbench and the orientation of backbench you bring in will determine what you get.
The whole of this week, Parliament has only considered questions and statements, failing to deal with bills and other weighty matters. The minority strategy is now to raise quorum issues every time. The minority chief whip says cooperation will suffer if their colleagues are still persecuted.
We still remain committed to our statement that in light of this persecution, no cooperation from us.
Trades and Industry Minister K.T. Hammond is concerned that if this trend continues, no key business will be done in Parliament.
And they have explained to us as part of the leadership of the House. Yeah, because you take it to the logical conclusion, we can't do anything on the floor of the, we can't do any business. The standing orders are clear. We have a quorum for doing ordinary business of the House. We have a quorum for taking decisions.
Minority MP Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed said his side is only enforcing the Constitution and the standing orders of the House.
Business of the House is guided by two very important things. One, the Constitution, two, the standing orders. Both the Constitution and the standing orders are very clear that before a decision is taken, you should have a specific number. And if you are aware, the Supreme Court itself ruled when we had these same challenges in the matter of the approval of the budget.
Reporting for Joy News, Kweku Asante, Parliament House, Accra.
In our next story, the National Council and National Executive Committee of the NPP have unanimously dismissed petitions by some aspirants for the Super Delegates Congress to be held at a centralized location. This decision follows the long-standing precedent set in 2014. Now, some aspirants had earlier raised concerns over organizing the Congress at decentralized centers, citing issues of transparency. But the party's highest decision-making body indicated that the conference would continue with its regular practice of voting at regional centers. NPP General Secretary Justin Kodua Frimpong communicated the decision after the meeting last night.
National Council unanimously approved of the recommendation by the vetting committee. Another issue that came up for discussion was with respect to the venue to hold the Special Electoral College. After debate among ourselves, National Council came to the conclusion that the precedent in 2014 should stand, which means that the Special Delegate College will be held at the various regions, except for one that will be held at the headquarters for national officers, external branches, and members of the National Council of Elders. Aside that, too, National Council also cautioned our aspirants and by extension their campaign supporters or members that it has taken notice of several unsavory, several vituperative and intemperate language that are being used by some aspirants and their supporters. And that from today onwards, the National Council, without fear or favor, will crack the whip if it has to. And tomorrow, we are going to again issue the rules and regulations that were given to the aspirants, to the public, so that when we begin to crack the whip, nobody will state that the party is being selective, but we will make reference to the rules and regulations. With respect to the album verification, we also made it known to the aspirant that this is an internal exercise by the National Party. And when this exercise is done, the album will be made available to the aspirants. In 2014, they were giving the album a week to the elections. But this time around, we want to give the album to them 1 month to the special college elections, so that they can go through issues, if any, they can be able to bring it up. Likewise, the November 4 elections also. So this is an attempt by National Party to make sure that we have a free, fair, transparent and peaceful elections. So we can assure all the aspirants that there's no cause for alarm, and everything will be done in such a manner that will protect and maintain the peace within our party.
Now, flag bearer hopeful Alan Kojo Chemating has been touring the Oti region to share his vision with delegates on the need to endorse him to become the party's flag bearer for the 2024 general election. Mr. Chemating says he is the only aspirant among the 10 with a national appeal to help the NPP break the 8. He met delegates from all 9 constituencies on a cluster basis. Peter Senu has been following his campaign in that region and has come through with this report.
Alan Kojo Chemating, one of the leading flag-bearer aspirants of the New Patriotic Party, was in the Oti region to meet delegates from all 9 constituencies to share his visions with them as to why they need to endorse his candidature to lead the party into the 2024 general elections. Sharing his view on why delegates should endorse his candidature, he says he's the only candidate with a national appeal that will attract floating voters to the party. He also said he will put all party executives on a payroll such that they can earn some income for their sacrifices.
Chairman, I'm the sure in the car. What's your Ghana force no way in the edge. So Kamudi way by a dear and I give it to Abama. That's a position. What do I say?
Some delegates have also been sharing their views on exactly why they are endorsing the candidature of Alan Kojo Chemating.
We are supporting Alan Kojo Chemating because you say your food, your panel. Ono na ye piano ye na ye nimyo honorable betimi aye ye nimya waye yes waso o my Ghana ache papa no yo wa koma panso na onimadwuma oye very creative o kanso a oye oni ni onipa Ghana has see at the moment o man bia bekoso efi adwuma say youth ni adwuma ya o man na enkoso the only person ye need that so betimi di adwuma bo o man Ghana ha that is why
Bubakar Sadiq Boniface is the National Operations Commander for Alan campaign team. He has also been sharing his views as to why he has left all to support his candidature.
It's yesterday, and we are doing what we call the cluster campaign. The cluster, the essence of cluster is, first of all, the advantage in it is that you bring different constituencies together. You take the advantage of bringing people living in different constituencies who don't know each other. Now, when you bring them on board, it becomes a time where people will know each other and begin to do networking. They'll exchange ideas, exchange their frustrations, and together they will be able to solve their own problems. So the clustering is very, very important, though it looks quite expensive. In some places we do single constituency. For example, we are in Nkwanta South. We are doing only one constituency. From here we are going to Nkwanta North. We are doing a single constituency.
From the Oti region on the Alan campaign tour, my name is Peter Senu for Joy News.
And it's on that political note that we cap off the news for this morning. But stay with us. Up next, the news review. We'll be right back.